Hey everybody, thanks for returning to my channel on an update on my previous video. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not. If you haven't, the card right up there, that'll link you to it. In that video, Officer Nelson on screen told me I needed to go inside during a police interaction at my neighbor's house. However, I refused. I was well within my legal right to stand on my property. I was out of harm's way, at least 100 feet from any other officer, and was not interfering with their investigation. In fact, if you watch the entire video, I was actually cooperative and helping them with their investigation. They stood on my property for 30 minutes and conducted conversations with me during that allotted time. And as I'll point out later in the video, my safety was not the issue, because if the safety of me was the actual issue, why is the family standing right outside the front door? Now, before I continue with the video, I do want to address a couple things that I saw in the comments from last week. Number one, never call the cops. I get it. You gotta learn somehow. The second concern from the comment section was my use of foul language. You know, watching back, I feel a little bit of the cringe. I used inappropriate language and I was unprofessional. However, it's not my job to be professional or use the best language possible to make these cops not have hurt feelings. But I do understand. It makes me look less educated and escalates any current tensions. A lot of the comments also address my use of welfare recipient as an insult, and to those of you who have been on welfare, I apologize, it's not a slight to you. The second thing I want to address from the welfare recipient comment was somebody called me a racist for saying welfare recipient. I just want to point out that everybody on scene here is white. And if the first thing that you think about when I say welfare recipient is a person of color, maybe you're the racist. Regardless, I learned some things and I wanted to share with you what's going on with the internal affairs investigation, show you their process and how they're dealing with it and what will happen or will not happen as a result of the investigation. All of the information is going to be in the video, also listed in the description below, so if you guys want to call and issue a complaint after seeing this video as well, go ahead and do it. I mean, we are the only thing holding the police accountable. I highly doubt that internal affairs will investigate its own and discipline its own. With all of that being said, let's get into the video. This first portion is the initial phone call where I called internal affairs and filed a formal complaint against Officer D. Nelson, badge number 230. Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Hiller?
Yes, this is.
Treats person, I told you I'd call you at 7:30. I'm a little early.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Oh no, this is great.
Okay. So the reason I'm calling you is regarding your complaint that you made last week.
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me what happened?
Okay, so I have a neighbor who I'm familiar with. I know him, and we're involved in an online community, and basically a bunch of people on the online community started sending me messages, some screenshots saying that he had a gun and he was going to kill himself. So I called you guys rather than intervene myself. So the responding officer, the first one on scene was Officer D. Nelson, badge 230. He made contact with me at my front door. I waved him up. There were two other officers with him. I don't have their names or badge numbers. That information was not supplied to me. A fourth officer ended up coming on scene, and we talked for 20-30 minutes maybe on my front doorstep. I allowed them access through my house into my backyard so that they can, check out the property, so that they can conduct their operation accordingly. And I was filming the entire time with my cell phone. I had one propped up on a window and one in my hand while I was talking with them. And I never moved off of my front porch. And and they called. Once the fourth officer arrived, I guess he was the one who had the shield. And they started knocking on on my neighbor's front door. And at that moment, that's when Officer Nelson instructed me that I needed to go inside, and I told him that I was good.
Get inside. inside.
I'm good.
Get inside.
And I was clearly out of harm's way. And he threatened that if I did not go inside, that he would arrest me.
Get inside. Did you hear me? We need you to get inside.
For what?
The guy comes running out here with a gun. What do you think?
Then I'll get inside.
Okay, I will be back to arrest you if you don't get inside.
You're gonna arrest me on my own property for standing
I'm
up.
coming back to arrest you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a safety step that they take because, you don't know where rounds are going to go if somebody starts shooting.
You're going to get arrested.
For standing on my porch?
Okay. Thank you. I give you lawful order. I'm trying to...
For standing on my porch. Well, I understand his request for me to go inside. However, based on your general order 1551 and your roll call video 566,
Hello and welcome to another roll call video. Today we are going to discuss the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and how it applies to contacts with our citizens in the community.
Standing on my front porch and filming is not illegal.
Okay, I'll be back with the summons. You can explain it.
You got it. Is it illegal for me to be on my porch?
No, it's not.
Okay, so let me
But
ask
if
you
feel like
this.
could be-
If I were
if
to
you-
tell,
Let me finish.
if I were to,
Let me finish real quick. Let me finish, please. But if they feel that you're in harm's way, they're going to request you to go inside to a safer place.
if safety was really the concern, then why, while he was telling me that I needed to go inside or I'm going to be arrested, is the family in between me and the front door of the residence?
That's something I will look into.
You will.
But I do
I'll
hear
show you the video. I mean, he's screaming at me that he is coming to arrest me. He's going to put me in the back of his car. So let me ask you this. If I were at somebody's house and let's say that cop was there without his badge and gun, and I said, I'm going to put my hands on you, tie you up, put you in the back of my police car, and take you to the bottom of my basement and put you in a cage until you post money to me for your release, what would happen to me?
Okay, we're two different things.
It's not.
You said, okay.
Because threatening me with an arrest
Sir?
for not doing something
Hear me?
illegal, hold up, threatening an arrest without reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime is a threat. It is a
That's
violent
what I'm going-
threat.
Okay, and that's what I'm going to look into. Whether or not, they may have said that you could, disorderly conduct or whatever, so that if they feel that you're interfering with what they're trying to do, you could be arrested. Now,
Okay,
how
again,
you go about
let me
doing that-
reframe for you.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. How
Filming.
you go about that is one thing, okay? If you're screaming and being, amping things up, that's probably not necessary. There's other ways to deal with it. But that's what my job is to do, is to watch the body-worn footage. If you have footage that you want to provide to me, I will add that to the case file.
Absolutely.
That would help with the investigation. I don't know how long your videos are. Sometimes it's easier to burn it to a disk or in something that you don't need back, and I can transfer that over to the file. Trying to get stuff through the firewall sometimes is difficult.
Okay, I can do that.
So anything you have that you would like to add to the case can be sent to me. I can give you the mailing address is probably, especially with videos, sometimes it's easier because, like I said, if it's any length, then it's not getting through the firewall.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can't use like Google Drive or Dropbox?
No, I don't believe so. I've never used that, and it's probably not as easy to do it's something I can just add, put this in the little thing, and it transfers over to a file on my computer, and I can add it to.
I guess the question is easier for who? I mean, I could Google Drive you all the footage here in 30 seconds.
I don't know why you. I can give you my email address.
Sure. Let me try it. It'll give you a link to a Dropbox that you can download the video, and if it doesn't work, I'll run you a disk.
Okay. So my email address is person, Person.
Got it.
My first two initials, TH.
Okay.
At CI, which stands for city.
Okay.
COLOSPGS, Colorado Springs, abbreviated.
SPGS?
Yes.
Okay.
Colorado Springs, abbreviated. Excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold.
I'm sorry to hear it.
CO for the state, Colorado, .us.
Okay, I got...
Otherwise, I can, sometimes it's easier. Can I get your email address also, sir?
Sure. Email address is at gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, if you send the link, there are people who are more computer techie than I am here that probably can figure out how to get it in. I will send you a test email also, so you should get get my email.
Okay.
And it's just no periods or anything between?
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm just sending you the email right now, the test email.
Okay.
And that would have my email address on it also. So what I do is, when I review all the body-worn footage, and your complaint is that you felt the officers were...
threatening me with violence and stopping my freedom of movement.
Was it all officers or just...
just the one, just Nelson. The other two guys on scene told him to calm down, and once the supervisor arrived on scene, which I have the interview with him as well on video, the supervisor, Adam Romine, 1967, he had the officer leave.
Okay. And I will, like I said, I'll watch the body worn, and typically what happens is, my cases, they go to a supervisor here, they review it, and then they send it out to the division. At that point, you'll get a letter saying that it is now at that point to the division. Typically, they don't take long, but if there's a lot of body worn to watch, it's not like watching an hour's worth of TV. It's more like trying to transcribe something.
Right.
I have to watch, I'm watching for something particular, so I might watch it more than once.
Sure.
I had somebody who was upset because they had 10 hours of body worn involved in their case, and they were upset that it wasn't out to the division yet.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
No.
It does take a little while.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can either email me or I will give you my phone number. Actually, it's attached to the email, but I will give you my phone number also. It's 719.
One second. Let me. My pen was down. Sorry. 719.
444.
444.
7468.
7468.
And if I'm not available, just leave a message or phone number, and I will call you back as soon as I can.
Okay. And what was your full name again? I'm sorry.
It's Teresa Person.
Got it.
And do you have any other questions or concerns?
At the moment, no. And I'll send over the video to you ASAP.
Okay. And if you do, just give me a call back, and I will try to answer your questions. If I can't answer them, I'll pass one of the sergeants here and see if they can answer the question for you. Okay?
Okay.
Yep. Have a good day, sir.
You as well.